When former prime ministers stand up to speak, whether or not we agree with them, it's always worth a listen, not least because they always demonstrate that collective amnesia for which they are also famous. Tony Blair last week on the need to respect international law after he invaded a country because his mate George thought it would be a good idea. John Major, Edwina Currie's extramarital squeeze, preaching about the importance of respecting democracy and throwing words like integrity in there to make himself sound credible. This coming from the man who thought it wasn't worth asking the electorate's opinion on the Maastricht Treaty, and David Cameron berating the government about their approach in relation to the Internal Market Bill, a bill which may never have seen the light of day had Cameron had done his job properly instead of running away at the first opportunity. I have seen children playing knockdown ginger hanging around for longer than Cameron on the 24th of June 2016. Last week they were all wheeled out like care home escapees, thrust into the limelight to deliver their verdict and apparent expertise on the government's latest handling of Brexit. All forgot their own contribution to where we are now, of course. See what I mean by collective amnesia? Then it was the turn of Theresa May in the House of Commons. Yes, her. She's still an MP. And what a performance she gave as she savaged Boris for his internal market bill. Although being savaged by Theresa May must be rather like being smacked across the face with a damp Kleenex. It was classic laugh-a-minute stand-up material. Comedy gold. There she stood, moving her head slightly to one side, looking slightly askance at the small assembled crowd of MPs. And then it came. The killer blow. The Geoffrey Howe moment. The proclamation that Boris Johnson was guilty of damaging the UK's reputation overseas, of undermining the country's integrity. How dare he? Then with a little fluster, down she sat, having declared to whoever was left or hadn't collapsed into fits of uncontrollable laughter that she, this indefatigable patriot, who could forget a Terry the country I love moment, could regrettably not support the bill, in possibly the biggest display of collective amnesia we have seen since Bobby Ewing emerged from the shower after several years of being dead in Dallas. Theresa May had the temerity to accuse others of undermining this country's reputation and started banging on about integrity. This from the woman who promised Parliament more than 100 times Britain would leave the EU on the 29th of March 2019. The woman who blethered on and on about taking back control of our money, our borders and our laws, and then proceeded to try and cede control of all three to Europe. The woman who had Eurocrats in Brussels laughing at this country and wondering just how they had the good fortune to be up against quite such a hapless negotiating team as hers. The woman whose mantra was Brexit means Brexit. Well, Theresa, here's another. Useless means useless. All I can say is that when the comedy clubs reopen, Theresa May is guaranteed a job. With material like we saw in the House of Commons, she clearly chose the wrong career. But then that's been obvious to most of us for years.